Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for being here on our Wednesday night call. Something a little bit different that we're doing for, I think, 6 weeks here. These are our leadership conference calls. And typically Greg hosts these, but he is doing something else tonight. He's got a conference that he's going to tonight. I don't think he's speaking at it, but he's managing it and monitoring it and all that good stuff. But that's why he's not here tonight, and you guys get to listen to me just for a few minutes. We have a great speaker tonight. Now, for those of you who do not know who Keichun Graves is, that's our speaker tonight. She is the Southeast Region Sales Manager. And what she does is she works with the 2 to 5 star diamond coaches. I had the pleasure of meeting Keichun about a month ago, the October Super Saturday up in Washington, D.C. And it was awesome. And not only did I have the pleasure of meeting her, but we actually, before Super Saturday, we had a dinner that we went to, and that's where I met her for the first time. And then at Super Saturday, she spoke. And let me tell you guys, she rocked the house. I remember she talked about Yosemite National Park and hiking the Half Dome over there. And it was just incredible. So without any further ado, I am going to turn it over to Keichun. Are you ready, Keichun?
I am so ready. Thank you. Team Engaged, what's up?
Woohoo!
Awesome. I'm so excited to be a part of the leadership calls. When Craig mentioned that Greg was doing this, it's like, oh my gosh, he's so awesome. I mean, guys, I hope you realize that this type of thing does not happen in other teams. I think that you guys are very fortunate and blessed to be a part of such an amazing team. So tonight, I've been asked to talk about motivating and keeping your coaches engaged, thus retaining them. The definition of motivation is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way, or the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. So motivation really starts from the individual. Obviously, as leaders, we do have the ability to motivate and keep our teams engaged, but we can only control the controllable. So let's talk about motivation. And tonight I'm going to focus on yourself, your coaches, and your team culture. So first point is lead by example. Are you the type of coach you want your coaches to be? One thing I love about Carl Deichler is how courageously and unapologetically he is, and how he leads by example. He's constantly sharing him drinking Shakeology daily. I mean, he's however many days we are in this year, he's sharing that. I think it was 282, something like that, that he posted the other day about how many days in a row he's been drinking Shakeology. He's constantly sharing his workouts and those sweaty selfies. He's sharing his personal development. He's sharing this amazing business opportunity. And I highly doubt that Carl is concerned about what other people think of him posting these things. He just does it because if he's asking others to do it, if he's asking people to join him in doing it, he's doing it because he's a leader. Leaders lead by example in order to motivate their team and keep them engaged. So are you being consistent with your 3 vital behaviors? And if you are, great. Are you showing your team and your prospects that you're being consistent? Also, when you go through a lull, do you share with your team how you pull yourself up, how you overcome those hardships? Those are great ways to motivate your coaches, because when they get in those lulls, is that when they lack the motivation? So they should know how to pull themselves up. And the first place to start is by you. So if you're not been doing these things, that's okay. I truly believe that leadership is learned. So start now. And guys, we're human. So let's talk about when you're not feeling motivated yourself as the leader. Remember that leaders must release the grit on the days that we feel like hiding. So consistency and then that grit are the traits that leaders must have. And here are 3 things you can do to motivate yourself. 1 is fake it, or like I like to say, face it until you make it. Oftentimes, if you just get up and do that dreadful task that you have no desire to do, it'll motivate you to continue until its completion. I use this principle for my house. I hate cleaning. So I literally pull myself up and I wash one dish, and I never leave the sink with the full sink of dishes. I always finish. So you can even stack those tasks onto something you do enjoy. So maybe you hate folding clothes. Maybe you fold those clothes while you're watching Dancing with the Stars, or maybe you're filming that training video while you wait in line to pick up your kid from school. Face it till you make it, and release that grit on those days that are harder. Second point, lean on your team, your success partner, and your personal development. Listen to your favorite Pump Me Up song. Read the excerpt about the world champion. Oh, shoot. My Zoom is working, guys, and now I need to. Okay, I'm going to hang up.
Okay, I muted your phone, Keichun. Do we have you on video? Yep, I see. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I had it. Okay, we lost you for a second, Keichun.
Okay.
I'm going.
You can only hear one. I'm not echoing, correct?
Yeah, but I need to mute. I'm going to mute everybody now. Okay, I'm muting everybody. Then I need to find you and then unmute you. Let me see here. It's like the Brady Bunch.
Is that her in the singers?
Yes. Can you? We can't hear you. I can see you, Keichun, but I can't hear you. Now I can hear you. No.
Oh.
Go ahead and.
Okay, I'm just going to use the phone, and then you guys can see me, and I'm on the phone. Okay, perfect. Yay! I'm so sorry, guys. Technology, love, hate. It only took 30 minutes for me to get my Zoom video working. So I am loving that I get to see your guys' beautiful faces now. So let me just back up really quick. We're talking about ways to motivate yourself when you're not feeling very motivated. So again, that first point that I said was fake it, or like I like to say, face it till you make it. And what I said about that is oftentimes we either have to stack that activity onto something that we do enjoy. For instance, I hate folding laundry, so I might fold my laundry when I'm doing Dancing with the Stars. Maybe you dread standing in line or waiting in that carpool line for your kids to come out of school. That might be a great opportunity for you to then film that video. But just getting up and just doing that task that you're dreading to do oftentimes will help you complete that task. So the second point that I wanted to make in regards to motivating yourself is to lean on your team, your success partner, and your personal development. Listen to your favorite Pump Me Up song. Read the excerpt from the book about the world champion bodybuilder with no arms and no legs. Read about the marathon runner who finished dead last, bandaged and bloody, but he finished the marathon. Whatever motivates you, go read it, go do it, go listen to it, and always go back to your goals and your why. Maybe add pictures of your goals and your why to your alarm or during those times that you're feeling unmotivated. And then always remember why you started, your strengths, and all the amazing things you've done so far. I think oftentimes because we're always talking about personal development and what do I need to fill myself up in, we're always talking about what we're lacking, but also remember what you excel in, what you do extremely well in. That's a great way to motivate yourself when you're kind of feeling a little less than. The third thing I do in order to motivate myself when I'm not feeling very motivational is, and this may sound weird to you guys, but I have to know when it's time for me to take a break, right? Rest and renewal is all a part of success. If nothing is pulling you out of your lull, then maybe it's time for you to take a break. Now, I'm not giving you permission to cop out. Right? Know the difference between copping out and taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to fill yourself up in order to fill other people up. And your business will not suffer because you go get a massage. Oftentimes I hear coaches who are scared to take their foot off the pedal, so to speak, because they're scared that their business is going to fall apart. No, as long as you're staying consistent, rest and renewal is all a part of the success. So those are the top 3 things that I do in order to motivate myself when I'm feeling less than. So I have a challenge for you guys. My challenge is to begin to share what you're doing with your coaches, whether it's in your team page or your personal sponsor page. Show them who you're talking to, how many names you've added to your contact list, how many invites you've done, that you're drinking your Shakeology and you're doing your workouts every day and consistently. How do you expect people to do what you're doing if you're not even doing it? Do what you ask of others and see what happens. See how it motivates them. So that's you. Second are your coaches. So know your coaches. As leaders, we should know what they need and how they're motivated. Leaders ask questions. Excuse me, let me back up. Before I go into the leaders ask questions, I want to keep on knowing how your coaches are motivated. Share the vision that you have for your team. Know their goals, and then help them set clear goals themselves. Attach to a big why, and then have a solid strategy. When I was preparing for this call, I learned that 63% of people waste time working because they don't know what their priority is. Help your coaches know what their priority is by sharing your priority. Helping them see the bigger picture is a really great way for you to help them stay motivated. And reminding your coaches of their goals helps them stay engaged. So, talking about knowing how they're motivated, I like Danny Johnson's gems. A con I hear is that she may be churchy. She's Christian, and I love that, but some people don't. I really love her gem test that she does. It's a great personality test. And for me, I read it, and now in a conversation or two, I'm able to know how that person is motivated just based on that conversation. There's also the color code test that we feature in the Coach Basics. There's the love language test that I know a lot of our coaches use. The book Personality Plus is an amazing book that, again, allows you to learn those cues in order to figure out how your team is motivated. Know that information helps you support your team exactly where they're at. So meet them where they're at. When I first did the love language test, I learned that my love language are handwritten letters. And this became kind of a running joke between me and my boyfriend. We were laughing like, haha, you could have saved thousands of dollars probably if I would have taken this love language test a long time ago. So know how your coaches are motivated. If you're doing a bunch of incentives and no one's even buying into your incentives, chances are that's not their love language. So save some money and figure out how they're motivated, because it could be a simple handwritten letter that would be $10 cheaper. Okay, so know how they're motivated and then stretch them, because our coaches signed up for a coach, not a cheerleader. Okay. So talk to your coaches, have a relationship with them, and know how they want you to support them if they begin to fall short of achieving their goals. I've heard leaders actually adding this into their GSR, their Getting Started Right, where they're asking if they have permission to hold them accountable. They're asking if they have permission to lovingly nudge them to how they want them to be supported if they begin to fall short of their goals, right? Revert back to their conversation if or when that does happen. Also be sure that they're doing personal development that fills them up with what they need to be filled up in. If it's confidence, if it's overcoming procrastination, if it's motivation to do the work, whatever, make sure that they're doing PD, personal development, in regards to that. Not just reading a John C. Maxwell book because that's what the entire team is doing, right? That is a great opportunity for you to motivate your coaches exactly where they need to be motivated. So then leaders ask questions, and then another question and another question and another question. Leaders ask a ton of questions. If your coaches are beginning to fall short of their goals, ask them why. Ask them why. If they're not feeling motivated, ask them why. If they're not responding after they told you what their goals are and who they desire to become, ask them if you did something to make them mad, right? If they shared that this was their goal, let's ask them why they're beginning to fall short. Let's ask them why they don't have that same tenacity to achieve their goals as they did that day that they told you. So leaders ask questions and then even more questions so that we can figure out the root cause of their lack of motivation. And then so we together collectively can figure out how we can fix it. So right here, though, there's a fine line between leadership and management. And so I do want to talk about the difference, in my opinion. So, because we do want to empower our coaches to be the CEO of their business for sure. This is their business, and we want to empower them to treat it like one. But if you have a coach, for instance, trying to hit Success Club, and they keep falling short month after month, let's figure out why. Let's get their business activity tracker. Let's get on the phone. Let's get a screenshot of their conversations. The I do, you do, I do, we do, you do, right? Let's have them hear how we close. Let's hear how they close. Let's figure out what they're lacking in order that's keeping them from achieving that goal, right? As long as their energy matches your energy and their effort matches your effort, meaning if they're not willing to show you their business activity tracker, well, there you go. That's when your desire to help them achieve that Success Club becomes management, because they're not meeting you halfway. They have to meet you halfway, and that's why it's leadership, because they are showing you their business activity tracker. They are showing you the screenshots of those conversations. They are asking you to be on their call to hear them, or vice versa. So as long as they're willing to match your energy and effort, that's a great way to motivate them. But know how your coaches are motivated. Ask lots of questions to figure out the root cause. Okay, so my challenge for this point is a two-part challenge. First is to reach out to all your coaches this week. When's the last time you did that? Show them some love. Maybe choose a few out of a hat and write a handwritten letter. Show them some love. This is a team. This is a relationship-building business. When's the last time you did that? Second part to this is begin to think of the vision you want for your team in 2016. What are the goals that you have for your team? I think that this is something that should be shared on January 1st, or, right at the beginning of the year. I know for me, this is something that my pastor did every single year. The very first Sunday of the year of every year, he would share what the vision was for the church and what our goals and objectives and how we were going to accomplish those goals were for the team. So maybe it's how many people your organization is going to help. Maybe you set a goal to help 1,000 people next year. Maybe it's that you're going to be an elite team. You're going to be recognized as the top 1% of a billion-dollar company, right? So be thinking of your vision so that you can share that with your team at the beginning of the year. So we talked about motivating yourself in order to motivate your coaches. We talked about motivating your coaches individually. And now let's talk about your team culture. So are you, as a leader, creating a motivating culture? Fun is a great way to motivate your team. Are you having fun? Do you enjoy this? Because that rubs off on people. So make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're enjoying this. Are you being real? Are you real? No one is motivated by a boring business robot. Sorry. I'm here to say it. So when you speak about success also, are you speaking about your success, about your results, or are you speaking about the team? Be mindful of those I's, and as leaders, we have to begin to change those to we's. We, our team is A. We as a team did the. Change your verbiage as a leader. Also, recognition. Recognition is a really great way to boost team morale and motivation. Recognizing even the smallest activities could really boost up a coach. From starting a challenge group to hitting Success Club 30 or Success Club 100, right? Maybe you have a ring the bell system that I've seen other coaches do, where they have a laundry list of wins. And it can be, again, it can be starting a conversation, starting a challenge group, doing your first invite to hitting Success Club 5, 10 or more. But whenever someone has a win, they chime into the group or ring the bell. Hey, I got a win. I'm going in for another win. We don't ever punish failure, and recognizing those small activities, those small efforts that they're doing to achieve their big goals is a great way to keep your coaches motivated, especially if they're not hitting their desired goals. If they're not hitting their goals, you've got to recognize those small activities, because that's the only way to keep them motivated, to let them know that what they are doing is amazing. So, and I'm sure you've heard me say this about audacious goal setting. We have to remind them what audacious goal setting is all about. It's not to beat themselves up. It's to gut check themselves. It's to stretch themselves. It's about who they become in the pursuit of achieving that goal. And so constantly it is up to us as leaders to remind them that as long as they're pushing forward and pressing forward each day, that they're winning. Okay, so recognizing your team is a great culture to have, as well as a great way to motivate your team and keep them engaged. Masterminding sessions are also a great way to motivate your team. You know, putting leaders, like-minded coaches together to bounce ideas off of one another, motivating because they get to add value to other coaches, other leaders, and also because they get to take things away from those groups. And maybe even because they were recognized to be a part of this mastermind group. But masterminding sessions are a great way for you to motivate your team and create a motivating culture. I've also seen leaders take this at the beginning, and they've paired their coaches up with success partners. So it's not some down the line thing where they're reaching diamond and above before they get a success partner. It's no, when you first start, when you first join this team, we're going to pair you up with a success partner. So another fun thing I've seen leaders do in regards to creating this culture is creating a coach challenge group. I'm sure you guys have all heard of these coach challenge groups before. I've heard of some that have been like a no fluff. We just want to make sure that you're doing your 3 vital behaviors. You're going to chime into this super informal group with either 100% or 0%. 100% means you did everything, 0% means you didn't, and there's no in between. And then I've seen leaders who have taken this up a step, and they've really made this a fun thing. And so one leader, she has, and I'm going to try to explain exactly how, and this is Jen Crowder, where I'm getting this from. She has all of her coaches purchase 3-day refresh and also select a Beachbody On Demand program to do for 21 days. She then has a pot where everyone throws in $5 to this pot, who's a part of the challenge group. And then at the end of the 21 days, they share their transformation on the inside and out. Then she has her challenge group. So these are non-coaches select the winner. So these are unbiased people to select this winner. And she's also killing a couple birds with one stone, because it's a way for her challengers, these non-coaches, to see results, one, and to see this fun team culture that she has going on, because everyone is doing this challenge group together. And so then this winner is chosen on December 20th, right before Christmas, right before the holidays, by these challengers, and they get to take home the pot. She said she did this last year, and the person who won, first of all, needed the money, needed it, and second of all, she took home like $720. So it's a great way, right, to motivate your team to press play, to make sure they're taking care of them, but also just to keep them motivated overall. That's a great culture to have on your team, a great fun culture to have on your team. So keeping it fun, keeping the culture on your team is a sure way to motivate your coaches and keep them engaged, but know that we can definitely only control the controllable. So so my last challenge I have for you, this is the 4th challenge. My last challenge I have for you all is to write down 3 things standing in your way. Write them down tonight before you go to bed. Those 3 things that are standing in your way. And have your coaches who may be coming to you feeling unmotivated do the same activity. So once you write down those 3 activities, decide what you're going to do to overcome it. What are you going to do to get over it? What's the root cause of it, right? Ask yourself those questions that you would ask your leader, and then figure out what you're going to do to overcome it. And then, team, I want you all to do this. Do this with it. Throw it out, burn it, and then go out and control the controllable. So that's the last challenge I have for you in this series of how to motivate your coaches. So remember that motivation Motivating is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving a particular way, or the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. So while we do as leaders have that ability to motivate our coaches, it is up to them. So what we can do to control the controllable is to make sure that we are leading by example, that we are having those conversations individually with our coaches, and we know how they're motivated. We're meeting them where they're at, and we are creating a culture of motivation on our team. So that's all I have. I hope that you guys found some value in the talk today, in the leadership series today. And if you have any questions, I don't know if we have time to open up the floor, but I am here.
Yeah, if it's all right with you, Keichun, thank you very much for that. Awesome advice. I don't know about you guys, but I got 3 pages of notes here. You talk very fast, Keichun. I was trying to keep up.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, so if you have time, Keichun, can we do some questions?
Of course.
Excellent. All right, if you guys have any questions, you can just go ahead and take yourself off of mute. I got a lot of questions, but I'm just going to ask you one question, Keichun. Everything you talked about is great. Do you have any advice for maybe the coach that doesn't have that large of a team? Maybe there's just, they have 2 coaches on their team, or maybe, maybe 1 emerald and, maybe 2 other coaches or something like that. Maybe a smaller team. Do all of these things still apply? And is there anything different or anything that you change in that?
Oh, yes, they still apply. First of all, regardless of how big your team is, if you have 1 person or 1,000 people, you have a team and you are a leader. And so absolutely, these 3 things, they do apply, because you have to start with yourself, right? And then you have to create the culture that you want on your team to have. So as your coaches are coming in, you create that culture, you set the expectation, and then you control the controllable. So great question. And yes, they do apply.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, if you guys have questions for Keichun, just go ahead and take yourself off of mute.
It always gets so quiet at this time.
Come on, we got. Oh, somebody.
Well, if no one has any questions, then I'm the only Keichun Grace on Facebook. So if you guys decide that you have questions later on, feel free to message me, and I'll be happy to answer.
Can I ask one more? I have one more because you mentioned this just briefly, and that's your BHAG. Can you tell everybody what that is and why it's so important?
Yes, of course. So BHAG, that's your big, hairy, audacious goal. And the reason why it's so important is because you have to know where you're going. You have to know why you're going there. So, for instance, my BHAG when I was climbing Yosemite was to finish Half Dome, right? My big, hairy, audacious goal. And in the pursuit of achieving this BHAG, I had to remember how far I've come. I had to lean on my team. I had to take it 1 step at a time. The reason why we have these BHAGs is to keep us in line, to keep us in check, to make sure that we're stretching ourselves, that we're gut checking ourselves in order to get to that BHAG. So you have a BHAG that may seem crazy, that may seem unimaginable right now at this given moment. And that's okay, because we set it, we put it right there, and then we focus on 1 step at a time. And the only time we look at that BHAG is just to remind us, how far we've come and who we're becoming in that pursuit. So you got to have a big, hairy, audacious goal, and then you have to stretch yourself along the way.
Awesome. Thank you, Keichun. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. Keichun, once again, thank you so much. Very awesome stuff, very motivational, and I hope all you guys had a couple maybe aha moments there. I know I did. So awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks again, Keichun.
Bye.
See you later, everybody.
All right, thank you.